Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, impeachment trial day 4. Yesterday, the House impeachment managers wrapped up their case, and today, former President Donald Trump's defense will begin. A look at what we expect from his defense and how long that could last. Plus, back here at home, environmentalist activists tangle with oil industry advocates over a proposal that would allow thousands of new wells in Kern County. And this morning, the debate will continue. We'll have a preview. Plus, are you ready to take Cupid's challenge? Ahead of Valentine's Day, something as simple as buying a box of sweets could do something as sweet as helping local families with children with serious illnesses. This is Friday, February 12th, 2021. Good morning. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen, anchoring from home. Alex Fisher in studio. And we're all excited for Cupid's challenge because I think we can all agree those Dewars chews, they don't need a special occasion. They are my favorite year-round, but I love a good reason to buy a box.
You know what's great is we've got Valentine's Day on Sunday, and if you have not already purchased a gift for your significant other, no need to worry. You have a perfect opportunity to help out actually not just your loved one, of course, but several people in Kern County who rely on the Mindaburu Magic Foundation for the care that they need and the help that they need as well. Kevin's live this morning at Dewars here in downtown Bakersfield talking about Cupid's challenge. Good morning, Kev.
Good morning. Yes, I've made it out of my cave of my home and made it my way out here to Dewars in downtown because today is a very special day for the Mindaburu Magic Foundation, a great nonprofit in our community that helps out families that really need it in terms of medical care for their kids. It's expensive, and the Mindaburu Magic Foundation really helps with that in terms of gas cards, lodging, stuff like that. And that's what today is all about. For $20, you can come down and get a box of Dewars chews, and that money is going to help out the Mindaburu Magic Foundation, and I'll tell you, they also help other nonprofits in the community. So they have big hearts, and we want you to have a big heart as well and come out and support them today. And we've got a lot of volunteers. We have the Bakersfield Police Department here right now, and they are getting ready to grab a box of chews and ready to hand it to you right in your car. You don't even have to get out today, and we are going to be out here all day long. Don't let the rain stop you, because I think it will rapidly come to an end as we progress. We do still have some showers out here right now, as you can see on the satellite and radar. We've picked up about 0.08 of an inch out at Meadows Field, and at our station in downtown Bakersfield, about 0.11 of an inch, and you can see it's definitely wet in the downtown area. 54 degrees, a west-northwest wind at 12, so we do have a little bit of a breeze out here as well. And you can see hour by hour as we progress into the afternoon, things will dry out for us. Again, we talked about this system was going to come in and out pretty quick. We also have a little bit of a breeze into the Kern County mountain locations. And with that, we're still looking at that high wind watch for Saturday afternoon, evening through Sunday morning, where we could see wind gusts near 60 miles per hour. Here's what it looks like in Tehachapi right now. A breeze. It is raining. We've got a current temperature of 45 degrees with that westerly wind at 18. And as we take a look at the hour by hour, we'll keep those showers in place early on. And then throughout the afternoon, that will come to an end. We'll still keep the breeze around as well, but things will dry out. So it looks like just this morning, and then I think we'll even start to see some clearing here in the valley throughout the day as well. We'll have much more from Cupid's challenge coming your way in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. Your time now is 5:04, and anti-oil activists and energy industry advocates tangled last night over the county's revised oil permitting ordinance. 17's Eitan Wallace gives us a look at that meeting and breaks down the debate.
In layman's terms, Thursday evening's meeting addressed the following. Should the county allow thousands more oil wells over the next 15 years? Well, supporters say it's good for jobs and the economy. Opponents say it's bad for the environment, and it's time to diversify. Strong feelings surfacing Thursday as the County Planning Commission considered court-ordered revisions to its streamlined oil permitting process. Specifically, the proposal would allow up to some 2,700 new wells per year for the next 15 years in Kern. That would allow for more than 40,000 new wells in the county by 2036. Planning Director Lorelei Oviatt presented the plan and endorsed it.
But it's essential that we adopt this protective ordinance.
This plan comes 5 years after a judge struck down part of the county's 2015 oil and gas permitting plan, saying it did not achieve certain environmental protections. That plan would have allowed up to just over 70,000 new wells by 2041. Now, industry stakeholders who support the new plan point out 25,000 jobs in Kern's economy are either directly or indirectly tied to the oil and gas industry, which pumps hundreds of millions of dollars into county coffers through oil property taxes.
California-based oil and gas production, in particular in Kern County, provides an essential supply of energy that keeps our economy and citizens moving forward.
Thousands of Latinos have been able to provide for their families. They have health insurance for their family members, send themselves and their children to college, and have a savings to retire into due to the oil and gas industry.
But the proposal also came with strong opposition. Heading into the meeting, more than 7,000 people signed a petition urging commissioners to reject the ordinance.
You cannot have drilling and healthy people at the same time. Keep the oil and gas in the damn ground. I have to breathe the same damn air pollution that the oil and gas industry causes. I'm tired of this crap.
Oil executives are posturing to line their pockets, while the predominantly Latina community they claim to help are faced with the health and economic consequences. Nearly doubling the amount of wells in our communities would be devastating for our climate.
It's time to diversify our economy and invest in the job opportunities that have a future. The fossil fuel industry is dying, and I will not let Kern County die with it.
While characterizations have been made that, Kern County only cares to allow oil to be produced, I think these 72 binders show, and our years of public hearings show, and the extensive environmental protection that we've brought forward, that we are as interested as anyone in protecting the health and safety of our communities.
After more than 4 hours featuring dozens of callers in support and opposition, commissioners called it a night on Thursday. They'll pick it up again this morning at 9 o'clock. The Planning Commission is expected to make a recommendation to county supervisors on whether to support or reject the ordinance. Supervisors will have a final vote next month. In studio, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
Your time now is 5:07. A person's dead after being hit by a car in South Bakersfield. According to the CHP traffic incident page, the accident happened on Edison Highway at Mount Vernon Avenue overpass around 8:45 p.m. The coroner was called out to the scene, but no further details are available at this time. The McFarland Police Department has a new top cop. Last night, the City Council hired Kenny Williams. Williams worked for the Kern County Sheriff's Office for nearly 30 years before retiring in 2010. He then went to work for the CSUB Police Department. Chief Williams begins his new job on February 22nd.
In your 17 Court Watch, court documents reveal a shooting that left a man dead and a woman wounded in Bakersfield was gang-related. The shooting happened at 38th Street and Chester Avenue near Stramler Park on December 15th. According to court documents, a car approached the couple and someone inside asked, "Where are you from?" The victim, 31-year-old Gregory Aguilar, identified the gang to which he belonged. The vehicle left and a short time later returned. The passenger got out and shot Aguilar and the woman. Aguilar died. Two alleged gang members from Palmdale, 20-year-old Daniel Lopez Santiago and 21-year-old Alfredo Naranjo, are in custody, facing charges of murder and attempted murder. A Los Angeles woman has been sentenced to 6 years in prison for a deadly DUI crash. Deanna Cruz Perez pleaded no contest last month to gross vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. The crash happened back on July 24th, southeast of Tehachapi. CHP says Cruz Perez was driving south on Tehachapi Willow Springs Road, south of Highline Road, when she crashed into a car driven by a 71-year-old man who died at the scene. A Bakersfield couple charged in connection with the death of their toddler has taken a plea deal in this case. The 23-year-old Tashi Gregory and 33-year-old Billy Ray Webb pleaded no contest Wednesday to willful cruelty of a child, according to court records. They were accused of failing to get medical treatment for their 19-month-old daughter, who died in August 2018. An autopsy determined the girl died from a fractured rib that punctured an intestine, leading to a systemic infection. The couple said she had been sick for 5 days. Gregory and Webb are set to be sentenced March 16th.
Welcome back here at 5:13. Just under 7 months ago, the McManus family welcomed their firstborn child, Cooper. Cooper had a final checkup before leaving the hospital, and when doctors discovered a problem with his heart. Cooper was airlifted to UCLA. There, he was diagnosed with critical pulmonary stenosis. The next day, he was in surgery. During all of this, the last thing on the family's mind was how they were going to afford a tank of gas or even groceries. Cooper was their only priority.
At the time, it's all about the child. How's my child doing? Are they still progressing well after the procedure? Are they still healthy? We're not having any regressions, anything like that. And then you check the mail and, oh my gosh, I forgot, we have all these other things we have to take care of. It's not just all about the baby. We have other aspects of life to still take care of and cover.
That's where the Men to Boo Magic Foundation steps in to help cover the expenses that fall through the cracks often. The McManus family received gas and grocery gift cards, helping relieve some of the financial burden as they cared for their little boy. And Men to Boo Magic Foundation.
Making headlines around the nation this morning, according to reporting from the New York Times, President Trump's COVID-19 diagnosis was much more severe than his administration revealed at the time. The New York Times article claims that Mr. Trump had extremely low blood oxygen levels at times during his illness and developed lung infiltrates, which is when the lungs become inflamed and contain substances typically filled with fluid or bacteria. The New York Times reported that Donald Trump's blood oxygen levels went down into the 80s when they should be above 95%. The Times article says that his oxygen level was so low, staffers thought he would need to be put on a ventilator before he was taken to Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on October 2nd. Officials in Fort Worth, Texas say they hope they never see another accident like this one on Thursday morning that killed 6 people and injured dozens more. More than 100 cars and trucks were involved in the crash that officials say was likely caused by the icy roadway. One city official called the pileup a major catastrophe. Charges against the 2 Buffalo police officers involved in a June incident where a protester was shoved to the ground have been dismissed. You may remember this video from the incident last June. Martin Gugino was shoved by a Buffalo police officer during a protest in downtown Buffalo. He suffered a fractured skull when he fell to the ground after he was pushed. The man was in the hospital for weeks, but has since recovered. The incident was caught on video by a reporter. Robert McCabe and Aaron Torgalski had originally been charged with assault in the 2nd degree, a Class D felony. Both officers involved in the incident were quickly placed on administrative leave from the Buffalo Police Department. It is unknown if they will be reinstated.
IT Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back here at 525 in your Business Watch. There are apps now that show you just how much time you're spending on your screen. And you might be surprised how many hours can get sucked away by simply scrolling or liking. And now some consumers are going to surprising lengths in an effort to cut down on that screen time. Liz McLaughlin explains.
About a year ago, Los Angeles motion graphic designer Fred Sprinkle had a wake-up call.
My phone usage was cutting into both my creativity and family time.
So he made a drastic move, ditching his smartphone.
The first thing I noticed was almost a reduction in anxiety.
But he's not totally off the grid. Now he uses the $350 Light Phone 2, a credit card-sized minimalist phone with limited features.
Your utilities, you could see the phone, alarm, calculator, a simple music player, podcast tool.
Joe Hollier and Kai Tang came up with the Light Phone concept about 7 years ago.
We want to create a device that empowers people, not the other way around.
And have seen recent growth in sales, even as the pandemic's increased screen time for the average American.
The phone is intended to be invisible, not something that you're constantly checking.
While some Light Phone users make the full leap, about half make it their secondary phone. So they use their smartphone when they need it, and then simply slide the SIM card over to the Light Phone when they want to take a break. Some also use vintage or prepaid phones, but dumb phones aren't for everyone.
It's too much of a challenge, too much of an obstacle. That's dinosaurs, you know?
Others are more receptive.
And I don't want to be weighed down by mindless chatter.
I don't need all these apps.
Fred Sprinkle says since he went light 3 months ago, he feels happier, more focused, and more connected with his family.
Because a lot of times in life, really, the answer that we're really looking for, we can't just Google.
A growing market for simplicity. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
Well, it is day 4 of the historic impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. House managers finished up their case Thursday evening, and today the defense begins presenting its side. NBC's Susan McGinnis has a wrap-up and tells us what we can expect for today.
Well, the Trump legal team starts laying out its case today after House managers, the prosecutors in this case, finished up their arguments yesterday, pressing senators, trying to convince them if Donald Trump is not convicted of inciting the insurrection, he could do it again.
One side rests, the other begins. Today, Donald Trump's legal team lays out its case for exonerating the former president of inciting the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
The evidence they have, under no circumstances, would make out a case for incitement.
Thursday, House managers made their final attempt to convince senators Donald Trump must be held accountable for directing rioters to attack.
The president told them to be there, and so they actually believed they would face no punishment.
Showing evidence rioters would not have attacked if not for Donald Trump.
Does he not realize President Trump called us to siege the place?
They describe a president who encouraged violence not just on January 6th,
knock the crap out of him,
but throughout his presidency, and refused to condemn it afterwards.
January 6th was not some unexpected radical break from his normal law-abiding and peaceful disposition. This was his state of mind. This was his essential MO.
I'm not afraid of Donald Trump running again in 4 years. I'm afraid he's going to run again and lose, because he can do this again.
Donald Trump's attorneys are expected to call the trial political, and Republican colleagues agree.
You know, they need to take seriously their oath of office and start focusing on the American people.
Trump's legal team will also focus on his right to free speech and point out what they call past incendiary comments by Democrats.
Confident of an acquittal, the Trump legal team plans to wrap up its arguments today. In Washington, Susan McGinnis, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.